Welcome to Make Your Big Impact. I am your host, Angel Tuccy, also known as the Book Angel, and this is the show for authors, speakers, and thought leaders who know their story isn't just meaningful, but it is meant to move people, create influence, and drive real results. Every voice that you hear from on Make Your Big Impact took a different path, but the common thread is this: they chose to show up, to speak up, and they know that success doesn't come from sitting on the sidelines. And I want to introduce you to our fabulous guest today, Lesley Christine. She is a certified metapsychology coach, emotional clearing expert, and creator of Living the Game of Life, a community and platform inspired by timeless teachings. Lesley, it's so great to have you on the show. I know we've been kind of circling in each other's worlds for a few years, but it's really great to meet you in person today.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
I'm so glad. All right, so tell our audience just a little bit about what you do and in the impact that you are most passionate about making right now.
I do emotional clearing work with women, typically women who are in midlife and have realized that maybe they've climbed the wrong ladder, maybe they've forgotten who they are with all of the things that we go through in life, all of the challenges we experience, but also all the roles that we have as mothers, as working in whatever kind of positions that we work in. Women carry a lot of responsibility and we take on a lot of other people's stuff. And I work with women to clear out the old emotions that maybe they have just stuffed down as a way to push on through things, so that they can start to remember who they are and really be themselves and live the life that they want to live again.
Oh my gosh. Leslie, how long have you been in that space? You don't look old enough to have the wisdom that it takes to serve the midlife community. So, yeah, when did this start for you?
I've been doing this kind of work for about 7, 8 years.
Okay.
I've had a little break of my own in the middle of that, but I am maybe closer to 50 than you might expect.
Well, you're very youthful. You have a very, not just youthful look, but a youthful spirit about you as well. I think sometimes, I don't know, you ever watch like the Golden Girls and you look at them
Yeah.
and you realize how old they were and they're like our age. And so it's very different now how I think how we are aging. But you are so right. We do tend to hold on to things, um, carry a lot of other stuff that maybe isn't ours necessarily to carry. But what was the turning point for you, Lesley? Like that you realized, like I am meant to share this story. I'm meant to do this for others and not just do this personally.
Well, I got into this work because of doing it personally, because I needed it. I had gotten to a point in life where I had kind of two major things that I was like, if only this, then I would be happy.
Mm.
And one of those was a corporate job that was very misaligned for me. I'd worked in it for over a decade and did not like it at all. It was never the right thing. And it did kind of a number on my mental my mentality toward life and my spirit. I started to feel like I wasn't worth doing other things. I wasn't good enough to do other things. And if only I didn't work that job, then I would be happy. And I thought, oh, I also had a dream of traveling full time with my family. And I was like, if only I could be one of those people that traveled full time with my happy family, then I would be happy. And I got both of those things. So we went through a major challenge in life. And at the same time, I got to leave the corporate job and I got to travel full time with my family. And a couple of years into it, we traveled for about 5 years. A couple of years into it, I was like, I still feel really stressed out. Like, I am not enjoying this the way that I thought I would, or I feel like I should. And, I have changed all those things that I said would be so much better. And yet, like, what's going on? There's something still that's a problem. I also recognized that the only thing I could change was me. I
Mm.
couldn't change the way anybody else acted outside of me. I couldn't, I had changed my circumstances and that wasn't enough. And so I got into this work to help me find myself again. And just out of curiosity, I was like, could I do this for other people? This is really intriguing me. Like, I can't believe I feel so much better And I wondered, is there like a little bit of a placebo effect going on here? And I wanted to just try it out on other people. And there were a couple specific things that happened that made me go, oh, I have something here. There's
Mm.
something really going on. And I worked with a woman that I found this emotion of abandonment from a really young age, like 4 or 5 years old. And I thought, oh, this could be mom's dropped you off at kindergarten and you weren't ready and you didn't want to go. Like being that feeling of abandonment can be there without having actually been abandoned. Like sometimes the feelings that we have inside aren't because of these horrible things that happen to us. It's just because of how we've interpreted the world, right?
Mm.
And based on
Yeah,
our age and stuff.
I want to go back, Lesley, because I think this was really probably even pivotal for a lot of our audience is we think if we change our external circumstance, that's where the struggle is. The job's not right, maybe the relationship's not right, where I live isn't right. And so we're always, yeah, we're looking for that external validation or what can we control or change. And you had done that and you had been in that space for the 5 years when you realized that, okay, there's something else. Was there, had you read something? Had you like gone to somewhere, like maybe another girlfriend? Like where did you, I don't know, where did you discover like the emotional clearing method?
Mm. I had met a girl that did some work like that, and I found it intriguing. And just hearing her talk about it, I was like, I don't know, something struck me. And it was probably that little still intuitive voice inside that was like, this is what you need.
Mm. Right. Yeah, and I think that it's true. Like there's things that come around us. The resource that we need, we'll hear it, we're more in tune to it, even though we don't even realize we're looking for it. Our subconscious probably is very aware of what we're looking and needing. And so without, getting, I guess, too into it, you did your own, right? Worked on you. How long of a process was that before you realized like this was something that I now need to go and share with other people?
I think it was how fascinated I was
Mm.
by the whole thing. I was, and I don't know how long it was as far as like it was probably a matter of months. It wasn't
Were
overnight,
you
but it
still
also wasn't.
traveling at the time? Did you guys stop
Mhm.
traveling? You did. Okay.
Yeah, we're not traveling anymore, but we were still traveling whenever I started doing this. And I went really obsessive with trying to clear things out because I felt like, oh, if I just get all this old stuff inside of me cleared out, then everything will be perfect and smooth sailing from here on out. And of course, it doesn't really work like that, but those are the things you figure out as you go. And I I just wanted to keep doing it. I just found it so interesting that I just wanted to know more, and I just kept researching other ways to do things. I had always been interested in the idea of energy and energy work of different kinds. So I followed Donna Eden when I was a lot younger. I used to be a Nia instructor. Nia is like a combination of yoga, dance, martial arts. So I understood that our energy affects us in really big ways. Um, but this was a different kind of situation because I was tapping in intuitively and finding things like in the subconscious. And
Mm.
I just wanted to keep exploring. And so that's when I started reaching out to other people like, hey, I just want to try this. Like it's working for me and I want to see, can I do this for other people too? I was just curious. Um, and so I found that woman with the abandonment issue. Well, the feedback I got from her was some of the first feedback that made me go, there is something more interesting here than I even realized because it wasn't the mom dropping her off at kindergarten. She had immigrated to this country and was left in an orphanage for 2 years at that age.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, that's real abandonment. That's not just a little a little thing. And it wasn't that they did it on purpose. Like there was nothing wrong with what was done. Sometimes it's just the fact of the matter of what happens to you in life, right? It was
Mm.
just that was where they were. They had to do what they could to get to a place where they could take care of their kids again. And then they brought them home, but but
Wow.
sometimes life
Wow.
is just hard.
I mean, I imagine like we all have stuff and we just
Oh,
don't, I think we
yeah.
dismiss it. We kind of move over it. I do want to make sure that we give our audience, so we have some more questions, right? Great interview to come with Lesley, but she is a certified metapsychology coach, and you are the creator of the Living the Game of Life, which is a community and platform. Do you have access or what's the best way for people to follow you and to connect with you as we continue? I don't want to wait till the very end of the
Mm.
interview to give that away.
So I do have a free school community called Living the Game of Life. And so, you're welcome to come and connect over there. And I also have a Substack of the same name,
Okay,
Living the Game of
okay,
Life.
living the
Yeah.
game of life. So find her, Lesley Christine. So now you've taken this, like you've done it for yourself. And I think this is a big journey for all of us. Like we do it for ourselves and then we start sharing it with others. When did you know? Like how many people had you worked on or like what was the results? And tell me kind of how the journey has now led to now this is who you are and what you do.
Um, I guess excuse me. I guess like I said, I find the whole thing fascinating and I have had just really interesting results. And I feel like as much as anything, it's me following my own fascination
Mm.
and just wanting to know more and wanting to do more. But I have gotten like some great feedback from people. I have women that are just like, everything is different now. Like I am responding to life differently. And that's what I really love. I have people that have come back and said, they've called me right away, and said, oh my gosh, we got into that same old fight. Me and my partner got into that same old fight we always get into, but I responded differently. And I wasn't trying to respond differently. It just happened naturally. And I
Hmm.
love that. It's that we develop this bigger resilience. And gosh, if there's anything we need right now in the world, it's more resilience.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Have you written a book about this yet, Lesley?
So I do have a book that I've published. It is not about this specifically, but it does contain a lot of my story in it. And it's not totally my book. I published a 100th anniversary edition of The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No, no, all new for me.
Okay, it was written in 1925, and it is a lot of the information in there is, I feel like it's kind of
1925.
1925. Yeah,
Oh my
1925.
goodness. Okay, no, I haven't read that one.
So a lot of the information there, I don't feel like is new stuff. I feel like if you were to read it, you would be like, yes, like I'm remembering things I've heard before and recognized before. And it's said in just such a simple way. And actually, I found this book during one of the next big
Okay, so hold
challenges.
it up again. Tell me the title of it again.
Mm. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It
Okay.
by Florence Scovel Shinn. And then I put into that, but well, let me tell you how I found this book first.
Okay, okay, okay.
So when we were in our RV traveling still, there was a point after the pandemic where my partner got sick and he went into the ICU for like 10 days and they told him that he had 6 to 9 months left to live. So
Oh,
we were like, okay, we reject that information. We're not going to accept that. Um, but we are going to make changes and do what we can do to prolong life as long as possible. So we moved back to my home state so that we'd be around a supportive family network. We had moved into a house and he's been on a healing journey now for 5 years. So the 6 to 9 months did not happen. He's
wow.
in
All
way
right.
better
Well,
shape now.
kudos to that for sure. Okay, that's
So
exciting.
when we first got here, I found this book, a reading of it on YouTube, and I just listened to it, and it just made me feel like there was hope. It made me feel very comforted. And then I listened to it again, and then I listened to it again, and I kind of stopped going on social media. I stopped listening to other things. I just listened to this book over and over and over again for months. And it just shifted my mindset about a lot of things. It changed the way I looked at the world. And one of the things that I did that was really that felt really big about this was that I created this little vision in my head about what would it mean if he was healed? Like what would it look like in my life if he was healed? And I imagined him just walking out of the bedroom in the morning and me saying, "How are you feeling?" And just like I did every day, like was the normal thing. And him saying, "I feel great. I've never felt better."
Wow.
And one day he actually walked out and it was exactly like that. And I said, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "I feel great. I've never felt better." And I was like, "Oh man, this is this is so big." It felt so big, right, in that moment. And then in last year, in 2025, I was like, "Oh, it's 100 years old this year, this book that I love so much now." And I go back and I read it often, not every more than once a year. Like it's kind of my touch
I'm
point.
looking on my Audible, and there's so many versions. How
There
do
are.
I okay, you're gonna have to make sure we get the right link for what you listen to. And then do you have yours is it on Audible as well?
It's not yet.
Not yet.
It's not
Okay.
yet. I actually am hoping to contact the girl that read it was on YouTube, the one that I found. And
Okay.
I'm hoping to contact the girl that read it and see if she will do the audiobook with me. That way I can read the parts that I have added and then she can read the parts in
Oh.
that Florence wrote in her voice
Oh,
because
so good. So good. Okay, okay. So we better stay in your world because it's coming.
yeah,
This incredible, reading. But the book is available, right? We can go online
yep,
and get
yep, the
the
book is on Amazon.
okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Well, Lesley, if we took a page out of your business playbook, and I think like we just kind of did, right? Go and read this book, grab Lesley's version of this book. But if someone is wanting to make, kind of a shift for themselves this year, maybe they're just feeling a little lost, a little disconnected, a little maybe even overwhelmed. What is the first move you recommend they make?
Shifting the way that you speak to yourself,
Hmm.
shifting those words inside of your head. I had some really horrible words inside of my head at one point in time because I just felt that feeling of not being good enough and that feeling of like my life isn't going the way that I want it to. I'm not where I thought that I would be. And I got really down on myself. And it's through changing that language that you use out loud, but also the language that you're just thinking in your mind, that you can
Hmm.
change a lot by just changing those words.
I think, we would never say the way we talk to ourselves, we would never say that to somebody we cared about, right? We
Yeah.
would never talk to them the way we talk to ourselves, right? The, the pressure and the language, right? We would never say that to somebody we cared about. And yet we say it to ourselves all the time. And so those are habits, like those are just kind of ingrained in us and we've just done it. What do we say instead? Like how, like, like the idea of, and I know the quality of your language, right, dictates everything. But what are some, I don't know, maybe some common things that your clients come to you with, and you're like, if you just shifted that from that to this, can we give some like actual examples or something tangible?
Yeah. And I think it's just kind of looking at what you're saying and then look at, well, what do you want it to be instead?
Mm.
Right. And then if you can't say that thing that you want it to be instead, well, I'm open to this. Right. Just starting to shift your language a small amount. Right. I'm open to, and for a lot of people, it's going to be like the language that I had in my head for a long time was I hate myself. Like actually those words, and they just popped up out of nowhere, and I didn't know where they were even coming from, but I heard them in my brain, and I was like, oh, there's something going on here that I have got to fix.
Mm.
So it might be a big jump to go straight from like I hate myself into I love myself. But what if I'm open to loving
What
myself?
if I
I'm
was
open to
open to it?
liking myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if
Right.
I believe that it's possible for me to love myself? So there's ways that you can just sort of talk yourself, one step at a time into it. It's just like taking one step at a time instead of the big, huge jump where you're like, I'm over here, but I want to be way over there. Well, like to jump straight over there might feel too big,
Mm.
maybe too far. So
Yeah.
you just, well, what's the next step? What's one little baby step that I can take that moves me in that direction? And then you you take it, and then you take the next one and the next one, and you keep slowly shifting yourself further and further over there.
What's it like in your community? What can people expect?
Right now, we are going through a 12-week book study of The Game of Life. And so we're meeting on Monday evenings and having like an hour for an hour and a half and having these beautiful conversations about things that we are discovering in the book. Everybody gets a chance to share. So we've got lots of people sharing their own insights and things that are coming through them for them as we read the book. But and then we are looking at the principles from the book. And this week, that is the power of the spoken word, just like we were talking about, right? Last week, it was the law of prosperity that we were looking at a little bit deeper. And so we just kind of move through these different principles that are laid out in the book and explore them for ourselves with journaling prompts, with different embodiment type exercises, things that I did as I was reading the book that helped me shift what my reality was.
Yeah. Oh, so powerful. So it's living the game of life. Is that right?
Yeah.
Living the game of life, a community. They can find you on school. You also have a Substack on that. Any other contact information or anything else you wanna share?
Those are the best places to find me right at this moment. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, Lesley, this has been exciting. What an eye-opening conversation. And I know for our audience, like everybody, there's like something we could all take away from it. And if this episode resonated with you, I want to encourage you to do something. Share this episode with someone who knows they were meant for more, but maybe hasn't taken that next step yet. Like, well, a really sweet way, right? Just share the book, share, which we'll get in the show links and share this episode. And if you are an author, a speaker, a thought leader, ready to turn your story into influence, leads, and real momentum, make sure you're subscribed to make your big impact so you don't miss what's coming next. Lesley, it has been an honor to interview you today. Thanks for being my guest. And if something she said resonated with you, make sure you tag us in a post and let us know. Till next time, remember that your story isn't just powerful, it is meant to make an impact. I'm Angel Tuccy, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.